I heard this noise that sounded like a train coming. It was just really a foreboding noise, like doom.
That was the moment Tefna Richardson knew she was in trouble. She grabbed her dogs, crouched in the corner, and prayed she would survive the storm.
And at that time, I started just screaming out, just praying.
Trees toppled down around Richardson's home, but she and her dogs walked away unharmed due to what she calls the grace of God.
I just started screaming, hallelujah, hallelujah. I was screaming it to the top of my lungs. I was like, praise you, Father, because I knew I had missed death. I knew that.
Now for some, all that's left behind is destruction and debris, especially along Route 130 in Elon, where the storm hit the hardest.
We do ask that if no one lives up in this area, please do not come here and just ride through the area just to see what's happening. We've got a lot of people working in the area, but also out of respect for the citizens that lost, everything down there, last night.
It's a scene that's hard to imagine, and one that most, hopefully, will never have to.
I have never seen, I'm here from 5 years in this area, and before that I was in the Appomattox area, so I haven't seen this kind of damage before. Thanks God, lives are saved, and houses we can make it again, but lives are saved, that's more than that.
Just 3 weeks before Christmas, a nightmare come true.
I was actually asleep this morning when she beat on the door.
In the middle of the night, Christina Simpson and her 2 daughters ran to their neighbors in a complete panic.
All I could see is the bright light.
Her house completely in flames. With hose in hand, he did what he could.
And I took off to her house to see if I could put the fire out. And I was unable to do it. I tried my best, but it was too far gone.
But by the time he arrived, the flames were already more than 20 feet high. All they could do was watch.
Oh, it smelled terrible. I still got the odor on me right now.
Neighbors say the mother, who works as a campus safety officer at Randolph College, needs all the help she can get.
It's hard for anybody, especially when your woman got kids like that, see, and live by herself.
They say she was so excited to celebrate Christmas with her 2 young daughters. Now she's just hoping to get by.
It's hard on her, see. Hard on the whole family, hard on the community too when something like that happens.
Any help anybody can give them would be greatly appreciated.
It's the best of both worlds.
A retiree with a guitar and a gift.
Mother Mary comes to me.
And a place where people can enjoy it.
Let it be.
The Blackwater Creek Trail is known for its sights and sounds. And now Tom Pafford is adding another soothing sound to the mix.
Love to have exposure and reaction from people and hopefully impart a little bit of festivity to them while they're taking their walk. So I hope you come and watch me in the movie.
It's a new gig for Pafford.
Then I know you
but one that's going over well with the regulars.
He's taking apart like some of his time just to try and make other people happy. And honestly, I find it really sweet.
Naturally.
Pafford retired from Centra 2 years ago. Since then, he's been busy perfecting a new trade.
As a teenager, I knew 2 or 3 chords anymore, but laid it down and didn't pick it up for many, many, many years after that.
Most of the songs are timeless tunes from the late 50s, 60s, and early 70s.
Put me in, coach.
Which are a hit, even with the younger crowd.
For me, it's really nostalgic because it's the type of the music that my mom had me listen to, so it just kind of makes my heart warm.
That feeling is the reason Pafford says he keeps coming back to this spot week after week.
The people are so kind. There have been many thumbs up, many smiles, many people singing along. You got to know when to hold them.
And also the reason you can find people stopped in their tracks listening to him.
Know when to run.
Usually on a Friday afternoon.
As a person who really appreciates music, I just love it.
That's why you want to hear another one? It makes me happy, and apparently it makes somebody else feel a little lighthearted for a minute as well.
Lydia Kalb, like many other pet owners, wants the best for her dogs. For a while, she thought that meant feeding them bone treats until an accident landed them an unexpected trip to the vet.
Normally they didn't digest them, so they would throw up whole pieces of them, or they would They would just kind of act weird even if they did digest it.
More than 100 similar reports recently led the United States Food and Drug Administration to release a warning about commercially available bone treats such as beef knuckles and femurs and ham bones.
The FDA says 3 times as many dogs as you see standing around me right now died as a result of eating these bone treats. So how did these bone treats end up on store shelves and in those dogs' mouths?
We drove to the FDA's office in Rockville, Maryland to find out.
In general, it's the responsibility of the company to ensure they have a safe product that's out there, and it's really more of a post-market surveillance for FDA for pet treats.
According to Martine Hardogensis with the FDA, post-market surveillance can include conducting an investigation.
One of the ways we can investigate them, we can inspect the facilities, and we have done that with several of the bone treat products, and that were listed in our update, and we generally didn't find any significant violations.
That's because they're mainly looking at manufacturing processes and sanitation in the facility, but Hardogensis says it's the physical characteristics of the bones that makes them dangerous. Which leads to the next question. With this information, why are these bones still on the shelves?
The complaints that we've received have really been spread across many brands. There isn't one particular product that we've seen a disproportionate amount of complaints associated with.
Therefore, Hardogensis says it will take a number of complaints associated with specific products for them to take action. So what are the signs your dog may need a trip to the vet if they get their paws on these bones?
So if it's a mouth issue, they may be pawing at their mouth or drooling or licking. There might be some pain if there's a broken tooth. As far as in a GI obstruction or perforation, it would be vomiting, abdominal pain, constipation, diarrhea, that sort of thing.
To avoid complications or even death, Dr. Harper suggests using a general rule of thumb when choosing what treats to give your dog.
In general, if you didn't want me to hit you in the leg with it, it's probably too hard.
For Calb, it's just as simple.
If I wouldn't eat it, I don't want my dog to eat it.